just got you muted. Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's up, and welcome to the new season, 22-23 season, and we're back with you for the match reaction show. I am your co-host T, and I got my man Patrick with me. Patrick, man, tough one, but I don't want to say to be expected in certain ways. I know a lot of people might have expected some of the rustiness with what we went through in preseason with the split squad, but a 2-0 defeat to Arsenal at home. Just give me some of your initial thoughts from what you saw with tonight's game.
The lineup I had no problem with necessarily because I pretty much thought he'd go with that kind of a lineup, having Edouard in for Mateta and having Klein at right back. Again, the midfield, I expected to be Doucouré, Schlupp, and Eze, but honestly, they just didn't fire. I thought Doucouré actually for his first game played very well. Didn't see enough of Eze at all on the ball. And we obviously, without him on the ball in his new role, we're gonna have a problem. And Schlupp, Schlupp was there and he tried to do what he could, but he wasn't involved in me a couple of times. Second half, he had I was blocked, etc., but not up to standard for me. And then Wolf came into the game much better second half. But, just was off it. Edouard had listen, we can go into this and have Webber come on later on. If Edouard's going to start, he has to score goals. Simple as that. And I'm not saying that it was an easy chance, but he's got to score a header because as a striker for Palace, you're not going to get 5-6 chances to score goals. You're going to get 1 or 2. So you're going to have to score those. So your what do you call that? Your strike rate or your not strike rate. Your execution rate has to be better.
Conversion rate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. Conversion rate. Now it's harsh, but at the same time, I'm gonna say for Mateta, you get 2 chances, score 1, because if you don't, you can't play for us because we're not going to create chances that we need. So disappointed in the goal because again it was a set piece. Zinchenko's wide open. As you said, was it zonal? Was it man? I don't know what was going on there.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, what are we in? Right there, I
couldn't tell. So to go down 1-0 and then again get a chance to get back to 1-1 and Edouard not score, and then second half much better. I mean, Doucouré's into the match, Schlupp's into the match, Eze's into the match, Zaha, Ayew's into the match, Edouard and then Mateta are into the match, and then we can't score. And I'm gonna say it as much as I hate to say it, I'm not an Arsenal fan. They're better than they were last year because Jesus makes them a lot better. So does Zinchenko.
They are better.
They're better. So the confidence was much better, higher than last season. So score, get second goal goes in and it's over. So it's disappointing. And my own disappointment is that looking at the schedule, and I'm sure you know it as well as I do, right? We have Liverpool away next week, then Villa, then City away, then Brentford. We have to get points for Brentford and Villa. We have to because we can end up. That could be a very, very poor start. And I'm not, going to get upset at the manager, but that's not going to be good enough if we don't get a point. Don't have more than 3 points after our first 5 matches.
Yeah, we can't afford to come out of 5 matches with 4 points. Like I don't think. For me, I think at the bare minimum for us after 5 games needs to be 6 points. The bare minimum. If I'm being completely
2 home
honest.
wins. Yeah, I mean, the home wins. I agree.
If I'm being completely honest with you, Patrick, and just go with me on this and let me know what you think. If we're comparing the goal scoring opportunities and then what led to shots on goal, we had better opportunities than them. Only because the opportunities that they had, like Martinelli's first shot, he didn't put it on goal. So if the shot's not on goal,
I forgot about he should have scored that.
Yeah, I mean, if the shot's not on goal, then your opportunity to score the goal isn't there. We had 2 very, very quality looks that were on goal that got saved. I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about just purely off taking your chances, I mean, this could have easily been a 2-2 match had we converted the opportunities that we were given. Because those were clean cut opportunities that were put on goal, but just weren't good enough.
Right. So you said that because I'm gonna throw 2 stats just early, not bringing all the stats now, but you're right because looking at the stats now, shots on goal. Total shots, Arsenal 10, Palace 10. I didn't know we had that many because at one point we didn't have a shot on goal. Shots off target, we had 2 off target, they had 4, and shots they had 2. So you're right. And then possession wise, I remember I wrote it down in the first half. like about the 10th minute, whatever, they put a stat up on USA. We had 33%, they had 67%. End of the match, though, we flipped it. 56%, 56% for us, 44%. So we clearly got back into the game because in the first half, it was all Arsenal, possession-wise, shots-wise. We got back into it. But again, we need to score those goals.
Absolutely.
So quickly, I'm going to say it. I get everyone to start against Liverpool and then possibly against Villa. After that, I want Mateta in there because if he doesn't prove that he can score, I don't care about him playing out wide. As a striker, if he cannot score from that striker, he cannot start for us because for me, and now people come on, maybe in the chat, come on later, you might disagree. Mateta holds the ball up better, which helps us get the ball up the pitch better. Now, you made a great point. When we win balls, Edouard is good at possessing the ball. But my point was being when the ball's played forward
to him,
a header or something, Mateta, Benteke, who, oh my God. But by the way, Benteke is gone. I'm very upset at that. We'll get to that later on, maybe. Mateta being gone, I think is a big problem for us because, again, he gives us something different. If you can hold the ball up, Edouard, and bring us into the game, hold the ball up, give it to Decore, hold the ball, give it to Eze, hold the ball, give it to Zaha. He's not doing it. Mateta did it about 4 or 5 times today. Got the ball, gave it to Ayew. Got the ball, gave it to Eze. So that's what's lacking. And if the balls keep coming back at us every time, which happened in the first half, we can't handle that against a team like against Arsenal. So
and I mean, honestly, when you're thinking about it, Mateta should be. I mean, he is that player. He is the better hold up player. I mean, he's 6'4". He's a big guy, a much bigger guy. So like you would hope that he does that well. I mean, the thing about it is, I mean, between those two, you have very different strikers.
Oh, definitely.
You have very
They're
different
not same,
guys,
which is fine.
for sure.
Yeah, they're very different.
And honestly, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily that one outplayed the other one today because honestly, our attack just wasn't what it should have been regardless. I think there was a sense of stability that came with Mateta in the second half, as far as, like you said, ball retention, giving us the opportunity to retain possession, to have the ball, to play. He definitely gave us that. And I think that's was one of the things that we saw lead to the increased possession in the second half, along with what I'm sure was Patrick Vieira telling them at halftime, keep the ball. Like there were too many times where we would just play the ball over the top, just try to get it out. It's like, no, we got away from the danger of their counter press. Let's play our game. Don't just hoof the ball out and give it up. We started to play from the back a lot more. But so one thing I want to put out there to the chat, to everybody watching that's going to participate in the review shows from here on out. We're going to do things a little bit different. So we're going to talk a little bit about some housekeeping things. So in this season's iteration of the show, what we're going to be doing is when we bring in what we call callers, whatever you want to say, we're going to be bringing it in one at a time. The reason for this is we want to be able to hear from everybody that's involved. Sometimes when we bring in multiple people at the same time, other people may dominate the conversation a little bit more, or granted, we may dominate the conversation a little bit more. But what we want to do is definitely give the opportunity for everyone to have their chance to speak their piece, to hear their voice, because it's important to try and hear from all of our Palace fans. So we will be bringing on one person at a time. The other thing that we'll be looking to do too is after each individual guest comes on and leaves, we will then have some time to go directly to the chat. We definitely want to give a lot more love to the chat, just because of the fact that there are a lot of people in the chat that don't come on and maybe speak or show face, so to speak. So we definitely want to give a voice to everybody that takes the time to join us week in, week out, and be with us. So shout out to everybody in the chat first and foremost. And of course, we're always going to be putting your comments as we're going through the show on here, but we definitely want to give you all some love. So Patrick, do we want to bring on our first person?
Do we have somebody? I don't see anybody.
Do we? Okay. Well, cool. We can move forward.
There's nobody. I'll let you know. Yeah. So let's go through the chat.
We can
first
chat
one
right now. Yeah.
From Donna. Oh, Danarchist.
Danarchist.
Vieira is aware he can sub off or just not play Jordan Ayew, right? So I'm gonna address that. Listen, I would be happy when Jordan Ayew is off the team because I'm tired of people getting on this guy's case for just now. It was Benteke. Now, people are aware. At least he is injured, correct? All right. At least it's injured. Ebowie is 19.
19 and has never played in the Premier League.
Who do you want to play on the right side? Who do you want to play? So in the chat, just give me some suggestions. Okay, I'll say it again. Olise is injured. Ebowie is 19. We have no option on the right-hand side. So if you have an option, so I'm sure that he's aware that he can play someone else, but right now there is no one else. So I'm still going to address that. But
and
thank
I mean,
you
the thing about it,
calling in.
And the thing about it that I would say is, it's a tough thing for Patrick Vieira to decide on what to do in that situation. And I want to put this out there. Ayew's not the reason why we lost this match. Let's be honest.
He's not. I mean,
you may not be happy with his level of play, but he wasn't the reason why we lost.
All right, and then let someone come on, rightly say that on the second goal he ran down, lost the ball, but he didn't give up the own goal. So Mitchell,
his mistake was not a direct
all game.
Yes,
right.
It was not a direct reason for us to give up that goal.
Yes. I get it, the frustration. I'm very frustrated right now. What is it? Half an hour after the game is over, etc. But again, it wasn't Ayew's fault we lost this game. So you can put all your stuff in the chat and even call in and make the comment. But right now he has to play, and until we get until someone else. So again, it's fine. So interesting question here. Go ahead.
Now I was saying we had multiple players that missed passes or lost the ball. I mean, Wolf lost the ball a few times, and
exactly.
It happens. I mean, it's part of trying to make a play. It happens. So
right.
We can move on.
Jason Babbitt, thank you for checking in. Not a great showing from Eze and Doucouré. I mentioned it at the start, Jason. I agree with you. I thought Doucouré actually played okay. He obviously got cramps around 75 minutes was out, but I especially again, what I like about Doucouré is that I think he made one backwards or sideways pass. Every pass he made was forward. And I hate to say it, for me, that's a big deal. But Eze, I agree. Eze to me wasn't great, but again, Jason, you're right. Midfield was poor overall. I agree. Midfield, that midfield three, which by the way, were the three that stayed in England to play together, just didn't click.
So they've had three matches together.
Right. So,
I think the thing that part of the reason why I don't think we saw them perform the way that they could have or we expected them to or wanted them to, should I say, was because of the fact that we didn't play through them. Right. I'll give credit to Arsenal. Arsenal did a good job of making us play out wide, down the line,
they forced us wide,
and back and back down the line. They did a really good job at that. Because the thing is, the few times where like you said, when Doucouré got on the ball and was able to play his game, turn, be creative, play forward, he caused them problems. As they got on the ball, he could shift in, out, play. He causes a problem. I think we have to make it more of a priority to try to play through these guys, especially Doucouré, because like. In this setup, when we're on offensive phases, he's got to be that fulcrum for us. He's got to be that middle fulcrum that touches, faces, plays forward, sees passes, because he's so good at it. But the problem is when teams are ushering us to the wing, we have to find a way to we'll accept it, but we have to find a way to get the ball back into the center to let those guys play, because we can't afford to have multiple offensive phases where they're not touching the ball.
I agree. We do have someone, Aaron, I see you. I'll get you in a minute. I just want to go through a few more comments. So two separate preseason team definitely hurt the team. Again, the midfield was played together. So I'm not sure I agree, but again, I'll defer to you on that one. Put Ayew in the Gallagher role. Jason, I would never think to do that. I mean, that's an interesting thought. He got a lot of energy, but if he loses that ball in the middle of the field,
he's gonna run like crazy.
Yeah, he'll lose the ball. And so, our friend Patrick, why is Ayew on this team? Again, Pat, I'm going to say it again. Ebowe's 19. Olise's injured. Give me another player that's going to play there, who has played there, has scored against Arsenal in prior time, and has done well. I mean, again, you can kill him all you want today, but again, we're just looking for excuses. It's not Ayew's fault we lost today.
There's only two other players in our team or system that has played on the right wing so far, other than who you just mentioned, and it's Plange and Roxaki.
Exactly.
Once again, these are guys
wasn't even on the bench today.
Yeah, these are guys that don't have significant Premier League experience. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, like, if anything, what we have to realize is in this situation when Elise isn't available and it's the first match for a kid like Ayew, this is going to be a transitional season for this 100%. Right wing position.
Right, exactly.
Like, whether we want to accept it or not, we're phasing Jordan Ayew out. We know that. We're phasing him out. That's why you bring on a kid like Ayew. It's just the fact that it's a process. Like 76ers, trust the process. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing is at this point, like you said, we really don't have that qualified player to be in that position now.
We don't have the options. So
outside of breaking the formation and trying something different.
Exactly. Which we could have done. So, but anyway, if you want to call in, there's the link, and I'll bring in Aaron. Aaron, man, what's going on?
Thanks.
Did you go to the match?
No, I didn't go to the match. I watched on TV today.
What you thought?
So, I'm just really disappointed, but I expected. I was really hoping for a win at home, but I mean, I'm not sure what all the hype about Ayew is about, to be honest, because from my perspective, I just saw a guy on the pitch that was working really hard. Like that.
Thank you.
His brain off, literally like a headless chicken. He was all over the pitch.
He runs. He works hard.
So hard. Okay, yeah. He's not the best footballer in our team and everything, but the guy was trying hard, man. You got to take your hat off to him. You know, I mean, he started there, man, and it was a very, very full game. And Ayew's the kind of player on the wing in such a physical game. I guarantee you, if you put Olise on the wing in this particular match, he would not have done as well as Olise because he's not as strong on the ball. He just keep getting knocked off. Ayew's got that strength, the body strength. You know, he knows how to hold the ball, pass it around, and you know he's good at tackles. That's Olise's weak part. So I think for this particular match, I would have gone with Ayew anyway.
Right.
I think the interesting thing is, like for me, is why is he the one that people are picking out right now? Out of the performance overall of the team and some of the places where we weren't as effective, why was Ayew the one that we're picking out? I mean, you think about that first goal on the header. He's the only one that was trying. He's the only one that actually got in the air to try to get the ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we're being honest, if we're being honest, Gallagher had one of his worst games in a while. He just wasn't up to it in a lot of ways. He almost had a Brighton incident earlier when he was trying to hold the guy off and had a miscommunication between him and Jokic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to get on Gallagher because we love him, and I get that.
Right.
But
also Tyreek didn't have a good game either. Tyreek
exactly.
But no one's gonna say that. No one can say that.
Yeah,
dude, Tyreek is terrible. He had a terrible game attacking. Like I don't know how to say it.
Got the ball out wide. I was worried. I was thinking, oh god, danger. Because just like Saka was running rings around Mitchell. Like he just looked lost today. He couldn't handle the pace. He literally couldn't keep up. And that's surprising because Mitchell's got a lot of pace. So I was like, wow.
And he paid him well last season too at home. Played great against him last season.
Yeah, I was like, wow, what's going on?
Yeah.
So then, Aaron, what would you do differently looking forward into the Liverpool match?
Can I be honest with you? I'm going to look at a lot of the positives today. And I honestly think there was a time in the match, or a lot of the time actually, the second half, where we were giving back just as good as we were getting. We were pressing them. We was, making some seriously good tackles in the middle of the park. Anderson was pushing right up. He was breathing down Jesus' neck. Did not give him any space at all. Look, Jesus looked lost today. He didn't read. I found two successful dribbles throughout the duration of the match. apart from that, Anderson was actually on his case, and we was very good. Like we was just as physical as Arsenal. We didn't sit back, but again, the bad point conceded from a set piece, so we kind of carried on where we left off from last season, which I'm a bit disappointed about that. And it was just a bit of a bad luck goal with Saka at the end. To be fair, that was just bad luck.
Yeah, that was. And the thing about it is when you look at Saka wasn't celebrating it because he knows what that goal was. You know what I mean?
And Eze, look. One thing I'm down about today is that Eze didn't put that away.
Yeah, man. Because you saw him put away that same goal in preseason.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Never expected that. Such a clear scoring opportunity. I don't know. I just think his mind must have just, when it just didn't click. And listen, man, I'm not hating because he missed today, but let's not forget everything he's given us. You know what I mean?
100%, mate.
100%, mate. In a large season, we've still got ahead of us. So that's it. Definitely, though, we need to get a couple of more players in before the end of the season.
Right on.
Aaron, man, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Take care, man. We have a couple more people in there. One of us is our boss, but he told me not to put him on yet. So
you can go to the chat a little bit first.
Yeah. You want to do it, or you want me to pull them up?
Oh, you got it. I'll read them off. You can pull them up. I'll read them off.
Okay. Here you go.
So our slow start cost us again. To an extent. I mean, I was saying to myself before this match, and I tweeted it out. I said, we need to make sure we don't give up a goal in the first 15 minutes. Right. And we need to score a goal in the first 30. We did the first thing. We gave up that goal in the 20th minute. We weren't able to get one back in the first 30. But I think, I honestly, the slow start didn't lose us the match because we were only down by one goal for the majority of the game.
And we had a chance. Well, we had a chance from Edouard to make it 1-1. We didn't. So you're right. I mean,
we had extremely solid moments to put points on the board. So I mean, now, granted, Phantom, yes, we started slow. And I mean, it's the first game of the season. It's kind of like boxing. You're throwing out your jabs, you're trying to feel your way into the match. I get that, but I still felt like the way we started didn't dictate how the match went. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? Because we wouldn't have had as much possession as we had. We wouldn't have had the clear-cut opportunities that we had. And even with those, we could have been seeing ourselves up 2-1 or tied at the end of this game, and we wouldn't be thinking to ourselves, "Oh, the start is the reason why we ended up tying." You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Pat?
Yeah. A couple of interesting comments here I'm assuming this is an Arsenal fan.
Not gonna lie, it gave us a stressful game.
Most definitely, I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, because they had the better start. I think part of the thing that kept us in it, and I commented in our chat about this, we played pretty physically.
We did. I agree with that. That part I thought would be a problem today. It wasn't. You're right. We matched their physicality, which is important. Yeah,
because I mean, the thing about it is they have a lot of guys that know how to play some sweet football. When you got guys like Martinelli and Odegaard and Saka and Gabriel Jesus, those guys can play some very intricate, sweet football. You know what I mean? And it's almost time to break it up. You just got to break up that play. You know what I'm saying? You can't let them do the quick little 2 touches and things like that. And I think Jordan Ayew did a great job of breaking it up every now and again. Check the Kure was in there breaking things up nicely. Yep. Those are the type of things that you have to do in those situations. And that's how even a match that can stay 1-0 for the majority of it, and we always be within striking distance because of the fact that we were doing what we needed to do in order to limit their chance and opportunity.
Right. So let me go jump. We got a couple of people in the chat. Let me bring on Austin for a few minutes.
Okay. What's up, Austin? How's it going, man?
Oh, bro. Listen, I just came from Rich and the boys, man. That was fucking.
AJ.
Oh, wait a minute. It's AJ.
Sorry. Hello,
bro,
AJ.
the name's literally there, bro. Like, what's going on?
Nah, because somebody else is there. I clicked the wrong one, man. I should take you off now and put somebody else on.
Do you want me to come back? I can come back in a minute if you want. I'm not a fussy man.
It's all good,
man. Thoughts, man. I know you were there, so.
Yeah. Oh man, bro. Like I was just saying, I was just chatting to Rich and the boys.
Big up Eagle Eye Football, by the way. Big up to the left.
Bro, yeah, of course, definitely. Do you remember about 2 hours ago when we were really optimistic and this was going to be our season? within those sort of like first 20 minutes of the game, that went in the bin straight away.
Don't do it.
He went in the bin straight away.
It's optimistic, man.
Oh man, listen. Funny enough, I literally just said the same statement a minute ago. But there are 3 things in this world that you can be sure of, right? Death, taxes. And Jordan right wing, bro. Like, what is going on?
Okay, so AJ,
what is happening?
Address that, please. My
friend.
AJ, Olise's injured. Eboué.
Oh, you already addressed that.
Who do you want to start? Yes, right. Who do you want to start? Who? I think the only thing you probably would have wanted different was maybe having Ayew come on a little bit earlier, but that's it, man. AJ is still there.
Yeah, but being the fact that he's walking.
Sorry, bro, cutting out a little bit.
Oh, all right, guys. So my point was, I just said Olise's injured. Eboué's 19. You're playing Arsenal at home. All right. First match.
All right. Youth needs to play. Youth needs an opportunity. Patrick, that's you.
100%. Not against Arsenal first match at home.
Today, he didn't make a difference. He was only on for 6 minutes. He should have came on earlier, bro. He was quality.
That was the only thing I could just bring him on a little bit earlier.
I agree with that, but you can't start him. I agree. Earlier,
fair.
Minute when you brought him at the same time, double sub. I agree with that, but you can't bring him on. You can't have him start. You can't have him start yet. Oh
shit.
So we lost AJ. Sorry about that. So okay, I'll go back to you, AJ.
See the atmosphere in that. I wouldn't even go on the record to change the formation. Like, how much I'm determined, bro. I can't go for a whole season with them, bro. I can't do it.
Yeah, well,
can't do it, bro. Jordan Ayew is.
Yeah, but AJ,
the most
reason we lost today was not Jordan Ayew, right?
No, not at all. Can't say that at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't. Yeah. He's gone. So
it's all good.
We're bringing Terry J. Terry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. How you doing?
Would you your thoughts on the match, my friend? Thank for tuning in. We appreciate it. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
First and foremost, I want to say big up back at the nest. It's nice having the Palace equivalent of the stuff we've seen over the years of AFTV and that. Like, hopefully we can keep it a bit more sensible than that lot.
But, we're gonna try.
That. Big up you, man. Obviously I didn't go. I watched it at home today. I think we came into the game against an Arsenal side that have probably had, from what I've seen anyway, probably the best pre-season of any Premier League team that I've been keeping track of. We had, as we all know, like a very interesting pre-season with half the club here, half the club there. And you know what? First half an hour, I was like, "Fuck, we're in trouble here." And then after that, I think we turned it around. I think we gave them a game. We're talking about a team that have spent a lot of money, a lot of money on top of a squad that was a lot better than ours in the first place. And I think we gave them a game. I think it, obviously I'm discounting the second goal because it was just very lucky. Right. Outside of that, I think they had a couple of chances. I mean, Odegaard, why didn't he shoot when he had the chance? But then, we had the Eze chance. We had a couple of Edwards chance. On another day, that's a 2-2 game. And I think opening day of the season against Arsenal, we would have, on another day, 2-2's a decent thing. I don't think anybody played particularly badly. I think it was just one of those, some days they go your way, some day they don't.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's just one of those things that, there's going to be adjustments made to how we come out in the next match and who plays and how they play. I don't think that the way AJ put it is like, the way we felt 2 hours ago compared to now. I mean,
everyone's coming into it. Oh yeah, we're gonna fucking smash it.
Exactly right.
I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we all want to do it, but the reality is it may not go that way. But in terms of like what we did, I don't think we did much wrong, to be honest. I mean, I get the Ayew thing. I'm not a big Ayew fan, but I don't think he did bad. He didn't do good. He didn't do good. I think the reason he gets called out is when you've got Wilf on the left and you've got Ayew on the right.
Right.
It gives them the flexibility to double up on Wilf because they know that that there's nothing really coming down. Like, have you seen Ayew cross the ball?
Not very well.
No,
I'll be honest with you.
You know what I mean? So
he did cross one, and it got over Wilf,
and it
actually put us in a pretty good position. So shout out to him because that cross actually puts us in a position to have a shot.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's like, flip a coin. Is it going to be a good ball or is it going to hit first man? That's what it is. You know what I mean? I like the guy. He works his bloody socks off, and I think he's a great squad player. But when you've got him on the right, it's almost like let the left back deal with him, and then we'll put our defensive mid on Wilf, and then he's doubled up on the whole game. That's what I think the weakness is with having Ayew on the pitch. I don't know what you guys think, but that's why.
But you know what, Terry? As I'm thinking about it now, most of the Arsenal attacks came down their right side, meaning Saka on Mitchell. Martinelli didn't do much today because of both Klein and Ayew. So you got to keep credit for that. I know people don't look at that part. No, I look at that. But people, I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking Martinelli really wasn't involved as much as I thought he would be. That worried me having him going against Klein and Ayew, but he didn't do much today. So but people don't see that because they don't like him. So.
It's the old.
That's once again Nathaniel Klein being super solid though too. Yeah.
That's a great point.
I think he had a great game actually. When you can do the on the BBC Sport, you can like pick the team you think's going to play. I had Ward, and I saw Klein, but it doesn't bother me like seeing Klein. I think they're much of a muchness, aren't they? But I think Klein had a very, very solid game against like a hype player, Martinelli. Because I think a lot of people have been hyping him up going into the season. But
I agree.
Again, aside from the first half an hour, I think we marshalled all of their forwards quite well, to be honest. I think it was just unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think one thing you got to think about is the attack. Like if you're a team that's outside of the top six and you don't have what you would expect to be your starting winger, one of your starting wingers, things change significantly. The way you play, the outlook of your game plan is very different. We're not a Man City where you have 2 or 3 guys that can play there that are starting caliber across teams across the Premier League.
That's the point I'm trying to make about the. I think the Ayew thing kind of affects how teams defend against us. Because like you say, the City thing, if De Bruyne gets the ball in the middle of the pitch, he can pass to, Foden, he can pass to Mahrez, either side. It's equally as dangerous. Whereas if Eze, for example, gets the ball, we all know he's going to look left. And they know he's going to look left as well.
Exactly.
And I think that's where not having Elise makes such a huge difference because we haven't got that equal danger on the other side.
Excellent point.
Well, awesome, Dan. Terry, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate you coming in and stopping by with us and talking. Feel free to stop by anytime, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it.
Nice one, guys.
All right. Take care, mate. So everybody else, don't forget to like and subscribe to us, please, on YouTube. It really helps us. If you have any comments you want to make outside of the stream, just send us a note. We'll get back to you on it. We really appreciate it. I see D's in there. Doesn't want me to add him yet, so I'll wait on that. So let me go.
Let's do a little bit of the chat. Yeah,
I'm gonna go back up here. No fan, but I have to say that
he's good. He's good.
Let me tell you something. The difference between for them, because we weren't able to put pressure on their center halves like last year because Saliba's very quick.
He's good.
Left side, Zinchenko was involved a lot, and forward, Jesus' movement is. I mean, I'm gonna say it's excellent. It's excellent, and you can't. It's very difficult to track him. If you notice, by the way, you notice how many times he dropped in midfield to follow Jesus. You see that?
And how many? Joaquin did it too. Joaquin,
exactly.
was on him, and it was great because that was a great adjustment that we made because in a lot of ways you didn't see Jesus doing what he did earlier in the match because of the fact it's like, hey, no, we're gonna man mark you. If you want to try to drop in between the lines, we're gonna be right there on you. You know what I mean? And I think that was a great adjustment on our behalf, honestly.
So Second City saying it's a great point. Sleep, but listen, I gotta give credit where it's due. Sleep was brilliant today.
Yeah, and that was his first. Was that his first Premier League game?
I did a couple of Arsenal related YouTubes.
That's his first. That's his first Premier League match
ever Premier League. They have a star in their hands. I hate to say it, but also fan. I think everyone will struggle against you this season, especially at home. I hope you're right. Team full of big, strong players. Arsenal very good today. Electric in the first half, solid in the second half. I agree. But let's get to this one though, because it's interesting. So I need to get your thoughts on this team. I know you have to go soon, but Benteke going to DC United in the US. My thoughts first. I hate it. I'm happy for him for a few reasons. One, he wants to play. He'll play a lot more over here. I mean, if you guys know, T and I both in the United States, so he'll play. He'll play. Get a lot of playing time. He wants to play in the Belgium team. He'll get selected anyway because he's not going to start, but he'll get selected for the World Cup team. Anyway, I don't know why he wants
to play. They don't really have any strikers. They don't have any strikers.
Exactly. Yeah. But he's gonna get selected. And 3, he'll be a success. He'll score a lot of goals because the standard of MLS is not. It's probably between League One and Championship level. DC United, by the way, is not a very good team. Obviously, everybody may not know. Rooney is the manager now over here. So, but I'm happy for him. I'm also glad. Honestly, I don't think past fans appreciate him as much as they should have. I'm gonna say it right now. He kept us up that one year. He scored those 15, 17 goals. Without that, we do not stay up. After that, he got injured that one year. Was out, tried to come back. People want to get on by his salary. If you don't know, he took a massive salary cut
to come to Palace.
To stay with us. And to stay after people complain about his making And then and lastly, last year, man, that little spurt he had during that Burnley time, he scored those 2 goals. He was playing really well. And then obviously Mateta came to his own and he started playing, and then obviously Edouard. But I'm gonna miss him, man. Listen, big up to Christian Benteke. Good luck over here. Hope he scored a ton of goals. But I'm gonna miss him because I think I thought he did a great job also with some of the youngsters like Mateta and mentoring them. And
he was always he was a professional through that whole process.
100%. So good luck to Benteke. And you're right. He's over here, Richard. So thanks for letting us know.
The thing that I think about the whole Benteke thing, I think there's definitely good pros and cons to it because like you said, the hard thing is that you lose a guy that gives us a different image than the other 2 we have on the team.
Right.
I hate this move. I'll tell you, I hate this move if
we don't get someone.
We don't have a solid plan. If we don't have a solid plan moving forward, as far as bringing somebody in to replace him, having some good foundational leads on bringing somebody in, I hate this move. I like this move because of the fact that had we not, he would have walked for free. I like the fact that we got something back.
I understand.
I think that's important for us, especially because these past 2 windows we've been spending. You know what I mean? So I think it's important for us to try to bring something back in. If possible, but I give a lot of credit to Dougie and our front office to this point, and I don't think they would have made that move without some type of foundational plan in place.
So
because we're talking about who is that third striker? Like if it's not Edouard, it's not Mateta. And I was thinking it could be, but I was thinking, if it gets to that point where those 2 aren't cutting it or one of them gets hurt, I think they'll put Zaha up there before he puts Plonge in.
But the problem with that is that we just said that we're still light on the outside. Much as I love Eboe and I think Raksaki will go out on loan, I don't think I'd be comfortable with Eboe and Olise out wide. I wouldn't be, and I prefer Edouard up top. I don't want Edouard playing wide. So I mean, it's a great point. So thinking about that real quick, I know you have to run soon, but so we have the needs for me right now. Not in order. A right back, even though I thought Klein was very good today. Central midfielder to replace Gallagher because we saw today that we need a younger. And then right now, probably a third striker. So what are your thoughts? I know we talked yesterday a little bit about Mariba coming in. I don't think that's going to happen. That would be a brilliant signing for us. You might just know there's a link that we have for Mariba from Red Bull Salzburg, but I heard it's not a real link, which is a shame. Right back is probably going to be Wan Bissaka, I'm assuming, on loan. But again, if there's no option to buy, don't wait with that.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So what about a striker?
I think the smartest thing for us to do, especially financially at this point, I think we need all three of those positions. And I think I think if we do see all three get filled, two of them are going to be loans. I think they have to
two loans
and one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 2 loans. I think 2 loans and one permanent move. I think would be what we would see in order for those things to happen. If I had to rank it in order, I'd probably say central midfield is the most important of the 3 at this point, and then I think striker is next. And then probably, and here's why. But here's why I say that though, is because we have guys that can play that position. Like right now, we legitimately have 4 guys on our team that can play right back or have played right back at some point with Ward, Klein, Ferguson, and Chris Richards. So we have 4 guys that have played that position. Three of the four at a high level. We haven't seen Ferguson play right back in the Premier League, but Chris Richards played right back in the Bundesliga. You know what I'm saying? So we've got 3 out of 4 guys that have played the position at a high level. You know, so if we're talking about trying to prioritize, if it's in the case of money being spent or things like that, I would prioritize those other 2 over right back at this point. Because
I'm going to say though that Richards is not here to play right back.
And I don't think he is. I don't think he is, honestly. Because
for those
we all know what's going on with James Tompkins. Like we all know he's the walking wounded.
For those,
he's not going to be
for those who don't know, Chris Richards wants to make the World Cup team. The United States right now has really basically 2 fit center halves, Walker Zimmerman and Aaron Long. And Richards wants that spot to start, and he's good enough to start. So he did not come here to play right back.
Because that's not going to be what gets him. That's not going to be what gets him into the national team.
It will not. And I hate to say it, selfishly, I hope he plays center half for us. In a 3, whatever. We'll see what happens. So
you might more
comments.
Right center half.
Phantom Z, rest in peace, Techers. Seriously, man. Big up to Techers, man. I love Benteke, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go check him out. I'm gonna check him out in MLS. I mean, St. Louis gets our team next year, so I'm sure we'll see him at some point. So that'll be fun. A friend of mine asked me to go down to DC. I'm not going to see Rooney's team play. I've been down to that. I'm not going to see Rooney. I hate Wayne Rooney, man. So I'm not going to see.
They picked up Ravel Morrison too.
Yes,
okay.
Jamaican international, man. My brother, my brethren. So
I like that he made that move. By the way, I like that he made that move.
I'm with you on that. AY, we miss you, Benteke. Love that one. Jason, good luck to Benteke. Thank you. I agree with you on that. And so I see AJ's back.
Go to Spaffy. Go to Spaffy Gifts comment here about Tompkins.
I'm sorry.
450 mark. The 450 mark.
Oh, what? 450?
450 p.m. mark is what.
Is that your time or my time? I'm confused because I don't know if that's.
Oh, that would be my time. So 550 your time. Yeah. Good
I'm just gonna make sure I don't
play right back before. There was a preseason match. I don't know if you all remember this, where we started Tompkins at right back, and we started
that one.
Ferguson we started Tompkins at right back and we started Ferguson at center back.
Yeah, right.
And it was hard for me to watch Tompkins try to play on the right hand side. Like just play a back 3, man. Like just play it because he could not. Man, he can't do it. Yeah. If this man can't stay healthy playing center back, there's no way in the world we're going to expect him to be able to operate on the right flank. I mean, that time of his career is
in my perfect world, if we have to have new center halves, it's going to be Ferguson and Richards, like League Cup, whatever. I mean, that's what I like to see. So we'll see. Not Tompkins. But anyway, AJ's back. I'll put him on because before we put the boss on. So in the car now, right?
Yeah, but man. Apologies, man. You know, South London and Signal, it don't mix.
We're off for Ayew. So we're gonna let's move on. Where we on to? Thoughts on Benteke leaving?
Listen. Benteke's
Thank
that
you.
guy.
My
Listen. Hands up for Benteke, man. I swear down.
I agree.
But that one season he banged goals and he did his job.
Kept us up too. Yeah, kept us up.
It was like you look back at a relationship and it's just pure love hate, but then you look at the good times, the bad times.
Love it.
You know what? If you know what,
every relationship has its ups and its downs. And
I love that age.
And now he's gone. It's like raw, like he's gone. Like, but hopefully we're gonna. Well, I don't know, man. I can't expect us. We got to buy some players, you know.
We were just talking.
We were just talking about this. So let's get his opinion on this, Patrick. So we talked about the three main areas of need at this point for us are central midfield, striker, and right back. Okay. Why don't you rank So why don't you rank what you feel like are the most important of those three, and why?
No, give me some names too, please. Give me some names. I need some names.
What names?
Oh, he wants some guys to go get.
If you got.
Okay.
Names off the top of my head. I mean, I saw the Mariba link today, and based on what I saw today, we looked kind of poor in the defensive, sort of holding the central midfield area.
Yeah.
So actually, after today's performance, and the fact that Klein was more efficient in the area, I would actually go on record to say, get Mariba over the line. We may have to consider a loan for a right back. I just don't see us forking out crazy sums of money. It's just not what we're doing.
Agreed.
I'm actually not panicking about the centre forward position if it's just going to be Edouard and Mateta, because Ange will play League Cup games, unfortunately, even though I think we should take that seriously. I don't know, man. The thing is, who's available? Like that's what you got to ask yourself. It's all good talking about filling these positions, but they got to be within our budget.
Yes. And
Crystal Palace's budget is different. Doogie will probably have some names that we've never even heard of, and then we'll be YouTubing them for about 24 hours, and then one. That's what happened with the core.
Yeah,
that's part of good having a good scouting department too.
Exactly. Names. Oh. See, the thing is, we've got what, 4 right backs right now, 3 right backs right now.
We got 4 guys. We got 4 guys that have played there, like for sure. We got 4 guys
that can play it, right?
And it looked like in the preseason that Fergie's going to be put at centre back.
Which works for me. I like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But for me, we definitely need a midfielder, and the Mariba link is just hella convenient. So if we can pull that off, because that kid was supposed to be up there with the Barcelona super teams.
They called him the Pogba of Barcelona. That's what they were calling that kid.
As long as he don't come with the same agent, we're nice.
The agent has passed away, my friend. He won't become with him, trust me.
Oh. You listen, well, I know about Raiola and passing away and the rest of it. Just the same. No, let me be a bit more respectful. The same.
It's all good.
Mentality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we're nice. The right back, I can kind of hold out for a right back, you know, because you got to remember we're still Crystal Palace. It's building blocks. We're never going to get. We're not a Chelsea or a Man City that can drop 200 million in one summer. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So I would say hold fire on the right backs just because of what we've got going on right now, unless one of them bounces before the deadline.
That's probably number 3.
So I would probably go, centre midfielder for sure. Because what I saw today, I was concerned, man. We got overloaded in that midfield. But actually, completely on a separate note, Arsenal, mate, they blew us away, man. Like first 20 minutes, they were all over us. It was. If I was an Arsenal fan right now, I would be very excited.
AJ, I said that. I agree. They look much better last year.
So yeah, right now.
Yeah,
I agree. They were streets ahead of us. Gabriel Jesus, boy,
different, right? He's not like Lacazette.
They bought the right players. They didn't need much, and they filled what they needed to do. They don't really need to add not much more to their squad, really.
Not according to Arteta. He want like 3 more people.
Play where? Well, I'm saying that even the bench was just looking ridiculous today. But sake of argument, man, I think we need a centre midfielder for sure.
Definitely.
I don't
That's
think
my
we should
number
go.
one priority.
I'm not interested in Gibbs White. I think he's overpriced.
I agree on that too, by
I
the
think
way.
a lot of the targets I
Yeah,
would have went
yeah.
for have already kind of gone. So O'Brien,
Flynn Downs.
but the Flynn Downs West Ham link. Like, if he's a fan, he's a fan. You're never gonna get.
Yeah. I'm just saying that would have been one I would have liked to have gotten had he not had that link. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So there's that. It's the championship, that's why the Mariba one's a bit more refreshing to me because he's
higher
what
level.
he's an exciting player.
And AJ, if you know anything about Red Bull Salzburg, they play a very pressing style. All of Red Bull teams play the same way. So he's right. But I'm saying they all play Red Bull Salzburg, Leipzig, over here in New York. They all play a pressing style. He'll fit here perfectly.
It's Gallagher pressing, isn't it? Gallagher pressing,
man.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly
right. He's got a motor,
man.
That dude goes.
We need an engine in that middle, man.
He would be a problem, man. He's the perfect age. He'd suit the system. I'll be committed. I think he'd fit in the dressing room quite well. Although T, I got a bone to pick with you. Stop getting sucked into a player because they're French. Don't do that shit.
They speak French.
On Twitter the other day.
I said
that Ndombele business.
I said it was an interesting piece. That's all I said, man. Because look, but the thing, AJ, we have to be real. We have to realize is the French thing plays a role in some of these guys that have come here, right or wrong.
You're right, because of the manager and the player. But AJ, great point. So no, exactly nothing. T, defend yourself. Why would we want Ndombele on our side when he hasn't done nothing for Spurs? Defend yourself now on this one air.
Okay. Here's my thing with Ndombele. I brought him up because there was a link. I never said I wanted him. I didn't realize. If you look, I put it out there for people to comment on. I mean, that's part of what we do on this show.
So you started the rumor then?
No, absolutely not.
We did him on great ages ago. First
of all, I would have never created a rumor about a guy that gets paid more than Hunmin Song does. He's getting paid $200K a week. No,
that's ridiculous.
All I was saying is the fact that number one, yes, he's a talented player, and the fact that we talk about the reclamation projects that we tend to take on at Palace. The only way that type of stuff is going to work with a guy like that is if we get some extreme discounts. You know what I mean? That's an off dark shadow play. I never said, "Hey, I won't get Ndombele." No, I never said that at all. You know what I'm saying? I put that out there for people to comment on to get their feelings, but no, I didn't. I never said either way where I would have him. I mean, now if Tottenham wants to pay all of his wages and let him come,
well, I'll take him then. I'll take him.
No,
then.
Because because they did that when he went to Lyon. I think Tottenham was paying 70%.
You have to wonder why, though. You do that kind of stuff. The pay man's wages means you want him away. You know what I mean? So what does that mean for him as a player, as a person, as a player? Someone said in the chat he's a baller. I agree he can play, but I don't need too many guys on my team that have.
It's different, but it's a difference between being able to play and being able to play in the system. Right.
Hang on a second. Where is all this? Now, obviously, you can point reference, and I'll go and research, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But where is all this? Ndombele is this baller. Ndombele can play.
Before he came to Spurs.
The reason why he cost Spurs
why they bought him
60-something million.
That's why they bought him. Yeah, exactly.
Like 3-4 years ago. Come on, bro. Like that. We had Ruben Loftus-Cheek then on loan, like when he was a kid. Like let's not get sucked into the past there.
True, but if you talk, I mean, in ROC is a sore spot for a lot of people. Their hearts pour out to him and want him to come back so bad too.
Now, if somebody can justify, to be fair, put it this way: if somehow we end up getting him, he end up playing his heart out and working his ass off, I would be the first person to say on the sales wrong. But I promise you this:
we couldn't afford him anyway.
Bro, Jose Mourinho had him running around in one of them local parks up in Finsbury Park, and he's still
remember that. Right during COVID.
Yeah, in the park, running around.
Yeah, because he said he came in like two stones overweight.
Nah, man. Yeah, I'm good with him not being in the
Palace. Come on,
nah, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Those days of just getting anybody for the sake of getting anybody are done.
Yeah. Exactly.
How about who's this other guy? Harry Winks? Is that we're linking him at
some point?
I've heard the name. Yeah, he's been out there too.
We got to stop. Do you know what it is, right? We are now at that stage where we will rather go and get the unknown untested,
yeah,
hungry player rather than washed up stars. We don't do that. Well, preferably we don't do that anymore, or at least that's the vibe. That's the intention I'm getting from
taking the dead weight off of higher table teams.
Right.
Exactly. Just because he played for Man United. Oh, because he played for Tottenham. Oh, because he played for whoever. Chelsea. Furthermore, we're beating Man United signing players nowadays. So why are we then taking their garbage?
Yeah.
And plus, like Harry Winks, doesn't he have injury issues like almost every year?
Yeah, I mean, I threw that. I just remember early in the window somebody mentioned him, and
he was definitely rumored. He was definitely rumored.
Somebody did still mention to me the Aaron Wan-Bissaka stuff. I think I'd buy,
Option to buy has to be part of it, though.
I'd probably do it if depends how much they want.
It better not be more than 20 million, because I wouldn't do it for any more than that.
I think 20 minutes is my maximum.
Yeah.
At the max.
If we just say loan obligation to buy 20 million, you'll have this thing singing his name.
I might give you 20 million with some add-ons. That's as far as I might go, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Man United would. I think honestly at this point, Man United would jump at that.
I'll tell you what, right?
They want him gone. So I agree. They want him gone. So yeah.
What would make me a happy man is if we pulled off Mariba and Wan-Bissaka before the end of the window. That would be fine for me.
Yeah, I would be happy with that. Well, only because
I'm not sold on needing another striker.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I would be cool with those two, just like you said, AJ. As long as with the striker piece, Pat, what you're talking about, we could basically kind of like analyze it up into the winter window. See how those two guys up front are doing, and if PV's cool with it.
And then get Batshuayi back.
No,
get Michi back for third time.
We know Michi gonna put that thing in the back of the net. Now, whether or not it's gonna be offside or not,
he did the first time round.
Yeah,
as we've seen from Batshuayi, he's more likely to hit the post and smack it in his own face than hit in the back of the net, bro. So. Nah. Well, that hype. That hype is gone, bro. That hype is gone. Like he was good when he was here for us when we had him on loan. But also remember, I'm not convinced the Conor Gallagher thing's gonna go away.
So funny you said that because
it's not gonna go away until we either bring in another guy.
Here it is. We miss Gallagher. Jamal Rice, thanks for listen. I tweeted it just now. I cannot wait to count how many times I hear we miss Gallagher on Twitter or in this stream, because it won't go away until either he goes somewhere else or he comes back to us, because you're right. People think,
we bring in another midfielder, or when the window finally ends and he doesn't come. That's what's going to happen.
There's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes with the Gallagher thing, because you can't ignore the fact it's World Cup year. Chelsea are technically in a mess. For their standard, they're in a mess.
Right.
They're not pulling off signings. They boo him. They abuse him on Twitter. Like, he might be a Chelsea fan, but he's not stupid. And if he's smart and he's got the right people around him, there's nothing stopping his angel whispering in his ear saying, listen, man, another loan at Palace may not be off the table here, Let him go where he's loved. Let him get into the World Cup squad, because I guarantee he's not going to start week in, week out at Chelsea. It's just not going to happen.
So
I'm with Jason, man. He's never coming back.
Just think about this.
But at the end of the day, we do have to kind of develop a style of play without him, regardless of what.
100%.
Absolutely.
And the idea was for it to be around Eze, and it didn't happen today. That was frustrating to me.
Because we didn't play through him. Like, the thing about it is we can't play the style of play that we need to with Eze there if we don't give him the ball. Just like a big part of what we're going to be trying to do in the system is retaining the ball. And if we can't play through the middle the way that we need to, or at least play out wide and get into the middle, it's not going to work, because we're not winning the ball back the same way you do with a guy like Conor Gallagher out there. Like, that was one of the main things he gave us, was the ability to be a ball winner.
Today, as much as Eze was a bit underwhelming, there's different factors to it. I know he's had a preseason under him. I know he's obviously had that time to kind of recover from the injury, but today he had a couple moments, only a few, like literally on one hand I could count, where he kind of had the ball, he was confident, he was dribbling, he got kicked around a couple of times. And remember, it was against an Arsenal team who dominated us. Like, they dominated us. And for the few, I think he's just that one goal or one skill away from kind of figuring out where he's at. Because if he puts that chance away, we're talking about it very, very differently. We're talking about it very, very differently.
Yeah, his confidence is very different. His confidence is very different. He puts that goal away. Extremely different.
And the unfortunate thing for the Eze and our new system without Gallagher is these first 5 or 6 games are a nightmare. Like, we've got what?
They're horrible.
We've got Liverpool next week.
Liverpool Monday.
Liverpool,
Villa home. Villa, City away. Brentford on a Tuesday at home. It's a nightmare start, man.
Let's be honest. Like, we're getting what, 4, maybe 6 points out of those next couple of games.
We need 6.
Even before I saw today's performance, that would have been my break. That would have been my logical way of thinking.
Right.
Need 6. Need 6.
Maybe after that, I know that everyone will go into panic naturally. It's just the nature of the beast in that one.
Going to happen, 100%. Yeah,
that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, how fit and how much more sharper is Eze going to be? How much more of those young players have maybe potentially have had a chance at that point and might have got used to the Premier League football? Elise will be back from fitness as well. So you gotta kind of let it cook. You gotta let it marinate. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta let it.
Yep. It takes time. Trust the process.
It's just because today we were just so overloaded and we didn't get our first gear today. We did not get our first gear today. Everybody just looked disjointed, and which is going to be quite interesting. I'll be interested to see what he's going to say. D might actually have a point about the squads being split.
No. Too early for that. I'm not giving D no credit. I don't know if he's listening or watching. Yeah. I'm not giving D no credit for that. No. Because our midfield 3 were the ones who was back and they played together and they were the worst part of our team today. All right, T. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
Take care, bro.
All right, T. Take it easy, bro. Yeah. Bro, I don't know, man. It just didn't click today at all. Like, there was maybe if we got to be more clinical for sure. Right. We have to be more clinical for sure, because if we put away those little half chances we had, especially Eze's one with Ramsdale, obviously we might have been talking about this game very, very differently. But
don't forget Edward's chance. The header. He's got to score that header, AJ.
Yeah,
but first half, he's got to score that. No. Centre forward's got to score that. For midfielder, defender, but a centre forward, 6-yard box has to score. I'm sorry, you can't head the ball right at the goalkeeper. That was an easy save for Ramsdale.
It's facts, and I hope all the people that were demanding this Edward hype, and I'm still not jumping on it. I'm still not jumping on the Edward hype.
Here's the main Edward hyper right there. Hello, sir, how are you? The main Edward hyper right here. And again, I want to be very clear to everyone listening and watching. I want him to do well. I really do. I'm not trying to be funny. I want him to do well. But again, if you're a striker for Crystal Palace, you get 2 chances, you got to score 1. So you're not getting 5. You're not going to get 5. So I know Dee's going to talk about that in a minute, but D can't expect Edward to get 5 and score 1. It's not happening. That conversion rate's not happening. He's going to get 2, maybe 3 and score 1 because we don't create that many chances. So in that chance today, he has to score. If he's supposed to be this big-time baller striker, 6-yard box, header, he's got to score that. So anyway, welcome, D, to your show.
It's your show. Okay, thanks for having me on. It's not my show, but I was gonna record my own reaction, but in honesty, I was watching.
Well, you were there, so
I was enjoying the chat. But first of all, let me start off with this. I thought Arsenal were much better than they were last season when we faced them.
Said that.
They look like a better side. They look like a better side, but I'm gonna let me land. I'm not, because they look like a better side, especially first 25 minutes. I thought that was like prime Arsenal. But as the game went on, I feel like we grew into the game. We created a few chances that we should have finished. It was clear-cut chances, in my opinion. The Edward one was one, and then the Eze one was another one. But in the second half, I feel like we dominated the game. And in a way, I understand Arsenal's greatness to a certain extent. Like, they look much better. I think Jesus looked great as a forward. The way he brought that energy into the Arsenal side. I need to drink water. I've been running around all day. I haven't had time to drink water. Jesus looked good. Saliba, fantastic for Arsenal. I think he's
brilliant.
He was more impressive for me than Jesus in a way, in all honesty. Just how great he was at the back. So yeah, credits off to them. But in this Arsenal side, for me anyways, I still see weaknesses. It's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound like I'm being salty. But for example, the left back spot, Zinchenko, I don't think he looks comfortable with diagonal balls over the top. He looked a bit out of place there. But moving on from Arsenal, I thought Arsenal were good. They deserved the win, without a doubt. They were good. But there's still question marks for me in terms of whether they can compete. If they continue to play like the first 25 minutes, I'll say, boy, they're going to be dangerous. But yeah, they're still much better than us. But in terms of Palace, I don't think it was a bad game from us. I think there's a bit of an overreaction going on. I know we lost 2-0, but apart from the first 25 minutes, I thought we had a good 50 to 60 minute spell where we looked like the better team. Look, Arsenal were very good defensively, and at times it was hard to break them down. But it was just down to our urgency as well. I don't think we were urgent enough passing the ball around. And yeah, I mean, as soon as we done that bet in the second half, I don't think Eze was on the ball as much. He should have been because he's the playmaker.
Right.
Decore looks solid at times, but Patrick, you need to talk. I need to go and get water because I didn't expect me to have a dry throat like this. So yeah, you guys talk. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. I actually need to go get water.
All right.
So there was two things Dee said there, right? I'm trying to remember what the second one was. So hang on.
How good Arsenal were a good player. How Jesus and Saliba were very good.
Agreed. Right. So you said that. No, right. I'll tell you what. You said that you thought we played well, right?
After 25 minutes, right?
I disagree with it, respectfully. I just don't think we got our second gear today, bro. Granted, we had a couple chances, and there was each player almost had like one or maybe two moments of decent play, but I'm going to almost contradict myself a little bit here. The only person I saw running around and busting his ass today was, ironically, Jordan Ayew. He was probably the only one that was running around and kind of busting a gut and looked like he was essentially 110% fit. He just plays this style and plays the way he plays. So you're never going to be able to change that. That's just who he is. But he was the only one that looked like he was fit. And he was the only one that looked like he was sharp. That was not a sharp Crystal Palace performance.
Joachim Anderson was very good.
Anderson's man of the match. Anderson's man of the match for us.
I don't think it's anything to do with sharpness, in all honesty. I think with Jordan Ayew, you mentioned a good point there, but realistically, just because he was good, it doesn't mean we can do better. If he gets another 3 goals for his season, then that's still not good enough for me. And
facts. Yeah.
And as good as he was today, there was still no end product. And you can say that the team weren't great in itself, maybe. But I disagree with that. Look, in terms of possession, it's hard to believe, but we had 56% possession. I know possession doesn't mean everything. And Arsenal was 44. Like, we still, at the end of the game, we dominated possession. And in terms of shots on target, both teams didn't create much.
At 10 each.
That's fault. Well, it's not. Well, statistics. You can't argue with the statistics, but Arsenal were in control of that game, bro. You see what I'm saying? Yes, they allowed us to have the ball in the middle of the park. So at one point, essentially, our centre backs were playing essentially in the middle circle, so they were playing at the halfway line.
And that's smart tactics. I understand that, but Arsenal only still had 2 shots on target. Let's not act like Arsenal. They played smart, but the goals that we conceded in the first goal. What the?
Oh, that was so bad.
Who was on Zinchenko? I don't know.
That's my question. Who is supposed to be marking Zinchenko?
I don't know. But look, the point is, Arsenal had 2 shots on target, and both of them were goals. And the first one was avoidable because it was awful. And the second one could have done better as well. It was counter-attack, but hats off to Arsenal for counter-attack. But at the end of the day, as good as Arsenal played, we were passing all around in the movement, which was fantastic. And we struggled to deal with the press. Like, we struggled to press them because it was so good. We still had something in our game. Like, we had moments. Like, as good as them 2 chances, Arsenal were clinical. I think that's the difference. Eze had that chance. If Eze was clinical as Arsenal were in them key moments, for example, we score another goal. If Edward scores that chance, which, for example, Arsenal, when they did have that one chance and they scored, then it's another goal. You get, I think, on the day, as good as Arsenal were, we had our chances. We had our chances to score the goals. And we didn't take them.
I disagree about Arsenal being clinical. Their first goal was a set piece where we didn't defend. That's not being clinical. That's just poor defending.
They still took the chance, Patrick.
No. I didn't say they didn't take the chance. You said they were clinical. That's not clinical. And the second goal, Saka's shot wasn't going in. It hit Gay. It's an own goal. You do know that, right? It was an own goal. That's going wide.
Look, I didn't understand it from my perspective.
No, but I'm telling you, the shot was going wide. If you watch it again, Gay deflects it into his own net. That's an own goal.
End of the day, Patrick, you see,
that's not clinical.
You can debate it's an own goal, and it was a header from a set piece that cost us the game. And apart from that,
yeah, but your point was they were clinical finishing. They weren't clinical. They were as bad as we were.
Yeah,
we weren't clinical either.
That's even better then. That's even better for us.
They deserve to win. I'm just saying, don't call them clinical because
cool.
They didn't have great finishes. The best chance they had was Martinelli's in the second minute, which he put wide.
But they had that one chance. But at the end of the day, it's not like Arsenal had like 7 shots on target and like they absolutely batted in front of a goal. Yeah, they had some off target, for example. But we had chances as well. We had chances. Eze's one. As good as Eze's been in pre-season with his playmaking, it's going to be interesting to see what he does in front of goal. He should have took that chance. It was a great save from Ramsdale. Don't get me wrong, but you need to be better as a forward.
Which was easier? He's not a forward. He's a midfielder. Edwards or Eze's? Which was easier, honestly?
I don't know. Edward was on the other side. I have to watch it again. But
6-yard box. 6-yard box.
Patrick, do you understand my point? We're both of them having chances and that we could have actually scored goals in this game, despite.
Totally get that. But Edward's a striker. Eze's a midfielder. Strikers just have to score that goal.
Okay, but end of the day, no. But Patrick, if you're still good number 10, you need to score goals as well. It's not about playmaking. It's not like I'm expecting Eze to score from outside the box. It was a decent chance. Like we have to hold him accountable for that. Eze was probably
totally agree. I said they both should have scored. I'm saying to you, when you watch it back and you watch Edward's chance, Edward's is easier than Eze.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't want to get into the Edward Mateta debate. I know you want to get into that. I don't want to get into that right now. All right, Eze, let's say Eze missed it. Eze's chance was easier. Oh no, Edward's chance was easier. End of the day, 2 chances. 2 chances that we could have scored. Also had 2 chances that they did score. And I think it goes down to that. But as I said, hats off to Arsenal because they were
100%.
They did look like the better team from what I've seen from last time around. Anyways,
yes,
but then again, as I said, for both teams, positives for both teams. There are still question marks. As good as Arsenal played, there are still question marks in certain areas. I don't know about the left back spot, but Saliba, he's just great. But yeah. For us, it's not at the end of the world. The only difficult thing is, it's just that we got the fixture list is against us, and
it's bloody awful. It's awful.
Yeah, it's awful. That's the only downside about it. But once we get out of this period, there's still so many positives from this game. There is. But Arsenal were well-deserved winners, and we just have to keep moving on. But for me, Patrick, another point that you guys made about Benteke, I think it's very silly that we let him go. Very silly. We created a problem.
I totally agree.
We have now as bad as like the Benteke people say Benteke is. We have created a problem that we did not need to create at this current moment of time.
100% agree.
We needed a right back and another midfielder.
A midfielder, right?
Now, I get JP and Edward are there, but it's still not good enough. It's not. We are one injury away from up front to Edward or JP, where you have only one
one option.
Now, I understand that Benteke wanted to move on. And of course, if you don't move him on, then there could be problems there. But maybe we're going to bring in a striker next week or this week. I don't know. But if we don't bring in a striker, why? Why was the need to let him go at this current moment of time? On the day that we're playing a professional football game, it's the first game of the season. Why let him go then? You could have let him go before and planned it in advance. That's a big question mark for me.
Well, the only thing is, if you don't know, the MLS
actually, on that point, I'll go on for that one. I got a point for that one. Hold on. Sorry, Patrick. It's only while it's fresh in my mind, right?
All right.
What is it? And that might not even be the point that you were trying to put across, D. But what is it that Benteke is doing that the other strikers can't? Like, what do you mean? Just is it just not having another striker? or are you saying that it's just another version of an attack? Like, what is the downside of losing Benteke? Because I love Benteke's myself, but
first of all, so Benteke is depth. Is depth. I think at times we disrespected Benteke in terms of what he brings to the side. I get he didn't score loads of goals, but he was still an aerial threat. I think he was better than JP and Edouard in terms of in the air.
Hold up play too.
Yeah, hold up play as well. So Benteke is still offered for the side. So first of all, we're missing a player because right now Hugh's really good in the air in this Palace side. JP, I don't know. Like he's physical, really, but he's not really great in the air. And Benteke was that option. So hold up play, we lost a striker that's good at hold up play, that's good in the air. He just offered something different. You can have a plan B, plan C with him. But right now, I know Edouard and JP is not the similar type of players, but Benteke was just something else. He offered something different. And then also, as I said, one striker. All it takes is one injury for us to get into a right mess. And then who's going to be scoring them goals? Them goals? Right now, we got question marks about the goal scoring anyways, because is it going to be Edouard and JP? It's going to be a huge ask for both of them.
Someone's got to score. You're right.
So step up. On that point then, the way I'm looking at it is, granted, JP's is not on Benteke's level in terms of the aerial threat, but he is still an aerial threat. He is capable of smashing those headers in the back of the net. He is capable of causing a mess in the box. Edouard's a very different striker because he's more foot orientated, essentially. Like if you're playing across the floor or you're playing the saucy football, then obviously the Edouard's going to be the better option out of two. And then for me, it does kind of expose Plange to the first team football. Obviously, we don't know if he's proven. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know if he's even good enough.
He's the option.
Granted, but he's the third striking option. So now we've got the aerial threat, we've got the skillful attacking threat, and then we've got the young unknown there.
I just think
we essentially held on to Benteke almost too long, in a way, because we've got a striker that can hold up the ball. We've got a striker that has an aerial threat. We've got a striker that can do something very, very different to that, and then we've got a young, fresh attacking striker here who essentially can step up to the mark potentially.
No, but I don't know, man. I don't know about Plange. When he played for us, he played out wide as well in a lot of in preseason.
Yeah, but that's not how he plays. Just he's a striker. He's a striker.
I haven't seen him play up front, and they just.
I understand that part.
First of all, if our first two strikers were so good, that's fine. We can have Plange behind them. But for me, as much as I rate Edouard and JP scored goals last season, both of them are not proven goal scorers yet.
See, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. You're right.
So but Benteke hasn't been that player for years anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not to say.
But you have to realize, what people say this, but Benteke last season, he scored only 3 less goals than JP. And how many games did he play? Benteke didn't get opportunities last season. When he did get opportunities, he did score goals. So this agenda about Benteke it's like we talk about Benteke scoring 0 goals. He did score goals last season. He scored 5 goals last season. So when it comes down to it, it's not like Benteke was a total bum. Like he was a decent player for us, and we needed to move on. But the question is, he was not that bad that we had to get rid of him like any point. Like just get rid of Benteke. He wasn't that bad. He never was that bad for us.
I agree with that. And yeah, he did get goals, but I just think, if you got a chance to save on the salary, the wages, obviously I don't know if there was a fee involved. I haven't seen that bit yet. But we're talking about a year older Benteke. Benteke was never going to come into this season probably scoring more than 5 goals. If anything, he would naturally digress in terms of, in relation to the goals and goal contributions he would have had. So we're talking about, and he would have been a year old. Well, he's a year older now. We could probably save that salary and invest in other areas of the squad. Remember, I've got enough faith in Patrick Vieira and Doogie to go out there and move in silence. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we just need to have a bit of faith, bro. Remember, I know we banter about Europe and all that rest of it, but it's building blocks, man. Like, to go from losing that many players and bringing in that many players last season and then building upon that and putting in a couple more in this season. And remember, the summer's not over yet. We don't know what's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. you got to have a bit of faith with the system, bro. And this is never a thing about Benteke. I mean, Benteke had his moments where we used to moan and stuff because obviously the agenda online and the Twitter agenda is nuts like that. But bro, he will be missed, man.
Quickly before, I understand your point. Quickly before we move on, for the Arsenal fans that are getting gassed here, I just want to say one thing. There's a team in North London playing in the Champions League, and it ain't you lot. There's a team in North London. That's what I have to say. There's a team in North London.
Oh man,
the Woolwich man, them. The Woolwich man.
I'm taking it. Listen, Arsenal fan, I'm thinking like a man. You beat us. Congratulations.
I did say that, Patrick. I did say that.
I know you did, but I know. I see. So you're like me. You're looking at the chat and looking at the comments, like my nephew in there. Ignore, bruv. Ignore.
No.
Ignore, bro.
I just
ignore.
Need to say,
I know what you're doing, though. I'm looking at the chat too. I see the comments.
I'm saying this, and you can record this. Come back to me when you get a top 4 finish or you win a trophy. Come back to me then, and then we can have a chat. Because from what I've seen today, you are a better side, and there's definitely improvement there. But still, there's still easy question marks there for you guys to not. I don't know. I have to see other teams, but it's not like Arsenal guaranteed top 4. That's what I have to say.
I'm gonna say the addition of Saliba and Jesus makes them a much better side. Then to me, they're top 4 for sure. They don't make top 4.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll be shocked. I'm gonna be shocked.
I don't know, man. That Thursday, Sunday for that team.
We shall see.
I think Gabriel Jesus and William Saliba and them guys they're gonna get a rude awakening with that. I think.
Yeah, bro. Just wait.
They'll cave in. They'll cave, and I think.
Just wait. Wait. No. This will, in a way, I'm just happy. Just you don't have to, Adrian. You don't have to even say it. It's gonna be funny when it happens. We already know. We already know what. Like we already know what's gonna happen. Just leave it. Don't clip this. You know. Don't clip this. Leave it as it is. Just leave it as it is because we already know what's gonna happen. But someone talked about Jeffrey Schlupp. Is it time we move on from? What do you guys think about Jeffrey Schlupp? I like his role. I
like him coming off the bench 75 minutes. I don't like him starting, and I never have. But honestly, right now, I can't think of a better option on our current squad. I don't want Luka to start in that position. He can't go box to box. I used to love Will Hughes, but I'm worried about. I don't know what's going on with him. It'd be Maka for me. Maka's injured. So right now, we need to get somebody in that position. It can't be Schlupp. I like Schlupp. It can't be Schlupp. He just doesn't. He isn't passful enough. He had a chance today. Couple chances, edge of the box, take a shot. He passed it, which is fine. Couple chances, edge because I think it fell to his right side or his left side. I have no problem with Schlupp. I really don't, but not with Doucouré, not with Eze. I need a better passer to work with those two. Work rate's great. Work rate's great.
It's that number 8. You know, the reason why I think Schlupp is playing there is because he's not Gallagher replacement, but he has the energy levels to try. I don't think anyone, apart from Maka, I don't think anyone has the energy levels.
No one does that we have on our team currently.
And to press, exactly. So we've got a gap there, and I think Schlupp does fit that role. But the problem is, when Arsenal they sat back in the second half, for example, there isn't that much space for Schlupp to run into. I think when on the ball, he's good. He's good with his feet.
Good point. No spaces.
Into the gap, but there was no gap. And then that's where you find the Schlupp getting exposed. So when it comes to it, we need the number 8, as you said, Patrick, that's good on the ball as well as with that energy. It's easier said than done. But yeah, we need to fix that. And we need to move on from Mac as well. In an upsetting way, we need to, because he's now 35? Something ridiculous like that. So how many games can he play? How many games realistically can he play? I think he's going to be coming off the bench more often than not. Like, it'd be great if he can play another games in the season, but it's very unrealistic. You're asking an awful lot in this system. And the next option is Schlupp. And if Schlupp ain't good enough to on the ball, because I think he still has the energy off the ball, then it's going to be a cost. It's going to be costed. But I feel like Eze's playmaking throughout the season will still make up for it in a way, because we didn't have Eze last season, and he's a player that could actually play proper football and get assists for us. Like, I truly believe that.
So D and AJ, check out these stats. They both played 86 minutes, right? Schlupp had 3 shots, Eze had 1. Pass accuracy, Schlupp 86%, Eze 88%. Touches, Eze 56, Schlupp 56. That can't work, man. Eze got to have twice as many touches as Schlupp has in a match. Otherwise, it don't work.
No.
It can't work.
I'm just gonna throw that in the bin, Patrick, and just hear me out. That today would, if you're looking at the Schlupp example versus Eze, that statistics gone mad, bro. And what I mean by that is,
go ahead.
It's the eye test. All of Schlupp's weren't doing no fancy passes today, you know. Schlupp's passes with them little dead touches back to Mitchell and them little dead passes
that he always does, right?
And that's where the statistics kind of back him a little bit. Schlupp, looking at Schlupp play, right, just makes me tired. Like he's not really a threat. He's like a utility player. He's essentially what Gyro does. He fills in the left back. He can fill in the midfield. He was on the bench today, by the way.
I know. But AJ, I was putting out there to show that Eze should be better. Not that Schlupp was. I'm not trying to big up Schlupp. I'm putting out there to say how Eze should have been much better than Schlupp. That's my only point. I'm not trying to big up Schlupp on that. I think those stats are bad for Eze, not the other way around. So sorry about that. You know what I mean?
No. But Schlupp's one of those players where he's useful for utility games and he's useful when we've got a bag of injuries and he can just come in and fill in. I don't think he can't seem to keep up with the pace of the game. Like it's like after about sort of an hour, he's just burnt out. Like he looked a bit fitter today. It's got to be said. He looked like he slimmed down a little bit. And the guy sitting next to you mentioned that as well. But he lost the ball a couple times today, and I think he just didn't really look comfortable. Like I know once in a while he'll just do his little once or twice a season, like bangs a winger out of nowhere and does a crazy run, but he just makes me tired, man. He's useful and he's utility, but I think it's one of them ones where if I was given the money and we went out and bought the two midfielders, him or Gyro's got to leave. Because I'm only keeping one of you because I can just use you to maybe play back up left back when I need it, or maybe play back up centre midfield, or maybe come on when I need to put a bit of grease on the pitch. But bro, Jeffrey Schlupp, right, just does not. He just bores me. He just doesn't excite me. He doesn't really do anything. He doesn't.
All right. All right. So I got a really strange comparison again. So I hate to do this, but I'm gonna do it again. Ayew versus Wilfried Zaha today. Ayew accurate passes 83%, Wilfried Zaha 86%. Chances created, Wilf 2, Ayew 3. Touches, Wilf 64, Ayew 54. Successful dribbles, Wilf 4 out of 6, Ayew 6 out of 9. Same percent, 6-7%. And dispossessed, Wilf 4 times, Ayew 5 times. Very similar. That's a joke, man.
No. Wait, where's that? Oh, there was an Arsenal fan you wanted to have a say. I saw that.
I saw me. I must have left.
You went away. I didn't want to cut you off. That's why. But if you're listening, click that link again. Let me add you on, and we'll have your thoughts as well.
The one about this guy here, right? About having chest. Yeah. He likes you, man. Lavangi, if you want to come back on, mate, we'll put you on a side about that. I did see. I just meant to get. I want to make a stat thing, but because I agree, the guy that in the middle doesn't have a lot of chest. Yeah. Happy with you guys lost. You want to have a little bit of a little bit of humility, because if it goes, you know what? These gonna coming at you. He's coming at you hard too. So just be careful.
So can I just double check? Did he feel this cocky and everything last season when we essentially broke them and stopped them from qualifying for Europe?
I just wanted to talk to him in it, but you went.
Like, did he feel this cocky last season when we stopped their little cute run and then ended their Champions League run?
End of the day.
What? Where was the Arsenal fans then?
They got something to be happy about. They had a good preseason, but end of the day, it's one done out of 37. One down out of 37. Like, it's not that the season ain't done. This season just getting started. You can win this game all you like, or you can lose this game. You can lose the next 2-3 games and win the next 2-3 games. But we know how ruthless the Premier League is. The season is not done after 2.
Their start's very easy, right? They're saying already they're going to win the first 5 matches. So I'm just saying. So they got an easy start to the season.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, they have Bournemouth next. No, sorry, Leicester at home, then Bournemouth away. Then Fulham at home, then Villa at home.
You know,
you should be winning that.
This might be for a different time, right? this might be for a different time or a different show altogether, but what is going on with Leicester? Something is very strange there. No signing.
Nothing. No signings.
No signing.
Selling players left and right.
Dead kit. It looks like their players are looking to leave left, right, and centre. Is there something a bit amiss there? Like Leicester if I was a Leicester fan, I'd be worried.
Yeah. Well,
no club is too big to go down, you know. Listen.
That's true.
If I was a Leicester fan, I'd kind of be a bit. If I wouldn't even kind of be, I'd be panicking. I'll be honest.
Just want to say this. Thunder Road, appreciate it, mate. You're doing us. Congratulations on the win.
That Arsenal should have won as well. That's the one thing.
No,
like, they should have won, and you look much better. But there's like from both sides, you can't get too carried away. You can't get too disappointed over a loss. You can't get too happy over a win because we saw it last season. Arsenal had a great season last season until 4 or 5 games to the end of the season where it all crumbled. So that's what it goes down to. Like even for Palace as well, you need to be consistent throughout the season. And in terms of our performance, those solid benchmarks say that we can take to the next game that we had from last season, but we have to be more consistent in front of goal. We have to score more goals. We have to create more chances. And the positive for us is that in a way that we didn't have our strongest 11. We didn't have Elise, which, as we saw last season when he played, he's a great playmaker. And it gives another option on top of Zaha that teams have to focus on. We didn't have Elise. As good as Ayew was, Elise is better. So for me, you know, there's both sides of things. I think we could have done better, but there's still lots of positives that you can take from the game.
Just to catch on Patrick's point, just before we started talking about the Arsenal thing, right? You were talking about the Ayew versus Wilf thing, right? In terms of the stats.
Yeah.
Obviously me, right? D, and obviously D, you were there as well, innit? So is it me or did Wilf kind of just not really have a good game? I would actually go on record to say maybe Ayew worked a lot harder than he did today.
Interesting.
I would have liked to see Wilf switch sides and face Zinchenko. That's what I would have liked.
True.
He was
when the balls over the top, he just didn't know how to handle them. Like he just didn't. When the balls were getting pinged over to Ayew, and imagine Wilf in a position that sometimes Ayew was in down the right hand side on one-on-one situation with Zinchenko. Look, as we know, Ben White, former Brighton player, we can joke about it, whatever. He did have a solid game. He did have a solid game for the most part. And
after the yellow card.
What you mean after the referee made sure he was nice? After the referee looked after him for 90 minutes? No wonder.
But Arsenal was smart with that as well because it was not just Wilf against Ben White. It was hard to put Wilf into them one-on-one situations. You had Saka there that was coming very deep as well, coming alongside Ben White to stop that. A lot of the time. On that side, you had Mitchell and Zaha versus Saka and Ben White, so you couldn't dominate it like that. And Arsenal did make sure they put numbers over to that side. So it would have been good in the game if we swapped wingers, for example, gave Arsenal something else to think about, which we didn't do. That's what I would have liked.
It's a great point.
I'll drop a controversial one in there then. I don't think, and maybe this is actually even contribution to the performance, Mitchell and Zaha weren't really on job today, to be fair.
Mitchell for sure.
Mitchell had a couple misplaced crosses. He was missed passes. He's got to sharpen up, bro, if he wants to make that plane. Like, if he wants to make that plane and go to the World Cup, he's got to sharpen up. I know it's the first game of the season. It's one game.
That's what I'm
saying.
And
he'll get better.
I can't look, as good as Anderson improvement in the long run, that's a bad example. But I can't say today, who shall I use as an example? Maybe Eze, he didn't get on the ball as much. I can't say, is Eze going to be good in midfield? I can't say that. Like, it's 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes of football that we've just seen this season. Just 90 minutes. A lot can change.
Hey, D.
There's still
next match.
Played.
I want Richards playing for Gallagher.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying.
Against Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, I want Richards playing. Yeah. I want to show how good he is. I want Richards out there at Anfield. I want Richards out there against Richards and.
Nah. We're gonna fight on that one, bro.
But Mark Gay is proving himself in the long run in the Premier League. As I said,
that's
a very good example. As I mentioned about Eze, Mark Gay, just because he didn't have a 10 out of 10 today, should we drop? Like, no. It's one.
We have
game.
options. We have options now, though. We have options.
And the split squad. I know AJ mentioned that. I know Patrick, you didn't want to hear it, but the split squad, we could potentially see the impacts. And it's harsh because the games that we've got coming up, but we can see the impacts at the start of the season. Look, for example, our last preseason game, we saw Decore, Joachim Manis, and Mark Gay play. But in that last game against Montpellier, even then, I didn't see Decore getting the ball as much as I would have liked at times, especially at the start of that game. These players still need to get used to each other. Decore, Anderson, and Mark Gay, how many games have they played together? 2? Is it the second game?
Second game, probably.
It might be the second or the third game because they didn't have. Look, the difference is Arsenal had a preseason. They signed all their players, and the reason why they were so happy going into the season, the reason why they think they will have a successful season, is down to preseason. And I know preseason doesn't mean everything, but it impacts your start to the season in a certain way. When you have half your team over in Asia, and then you have and Australia, like they move over there, and then you have half your team over here. It will naturally have an impact because we made new signings that didn't train with some of the first team players that was over in that tour. And that's why they
Patrick.
Hear me out first. I agree what you're saying that it could have impacted, right? But there's no excuse for defending that set piece for that first goal, the deflected goal they scored, and Eze Edouard missing, and nothing to do with them being in Australia, Singapore, or South London. Nothing to do with it.
There isn't with that. There isn't with that. But then when you look at our final third, we did create 2 chances, as I said, and we should have done better with them chances. If we did, then we might be talking about something different.
Same problem last season, though. Finishing was the same problem last.
But in terms of the possession that we did have, maybe we could have created better chances. As good as Arsenal were defensively, maybe we could have created better chances. And that goes down to team chemistry and team bonding at times as well. Look, we kept the ball, but at times it was a bit slow moving the ball about. It was. But in the second half, we did improve that. But look, the split squad is going to be hard because you can't factually say it impacted us or not. But I feel like it has had some type of involvement to the season.
Hey, wait.
Patrick,
Here's an idea. How about, where'd it go? Oh my God, where'd it go?
What?
This one. Oh. There was a really good comment in the chat about a player we should sign. I want you to comment on it. Here we go.
What? Are we talking about midfielder? Are we talking about what?
Nope.
Liverpool fan here had the food up Palace transfer. Ivan Toney, too much money.
No, get him in.
He'd be brilliant. He'd be brilliant. Oh my God, bro.
Signing.
That's you know that is. That's a FIFA Football Manager thing, you know. That's a FIFA Football Manager thing, you know. He would suit our team. But you know it is. He'd be on Twitter talking shit about us.
I don't care.
What?
Scores goals.
What for him to be on Twitter talking about who'd you play for? Nobody special. Or what was the other one he did? What? Because he was when man's chasing the bunda and that beeper and that on the boat party and that he's like, fuck Palace.
Tony.
No, bro.
Big up to Nikolai, Liverpool fan.
Man City.
He's right. He's right. Tony would be, but you know what it is? I'm hoping maybe Brentford go down. We get him on a cheap.
No, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. If we didn't sign Decore and we didn't sign some of the players that we signed, how much money do we actually have to spend? Because if we want to buy a solid striker, you have to spend solid money.
It's not happening. It's not happening. Yeah, I'm playing around. Come on, I'm just joking.
No.
It's a good shout. That's a good shout. But Patrick, I'm so sorry, right? But just on the last point you said, right?
About what?
So sorry, Patrick. He's right.
About what?
The team chemistry, bro.
No, I listen. I'm taking that, but I'm also
sorry,
saying that
bro, but it's factual. It's factual. Because the more time you guys spend and bond and whatever, that's the whole generically, and more 9 times out of 10, it makes more sense.
One
team cohesion is a thing.
One example.
It suits the agenda, and I understand it. But I'm telling you right now, we probably lose to Arsenal anyway. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah,
whatever.
We might have. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah,
but maybe we could have worked in set pieces a bit better with the whole team there.
Like we did last year, like last season. The whole season couldn't do it, and then the first game we do the same thing.
I'll give you a good point. Look, last season, if you remember, Arsenal, they didn't have a great preseason, right?
I remember I got off to a really poor start.
They lost the first preseason game.
Yeah.
No, they lost the first game of the season to Brentford. They didn't have all the signings on time. But look at Arsenal last season compared to now.
No, 100%. It's a big difference.
You can see the impact.
And that's why I don't think it would have mattered to us today. That's my point, though. That's why I don't think it would have mattered, because getting those players in, Jesus, Zinchenko, Saliba in there, getting the signings in early and they have a cohesion. I don't care if we had them all back in Cobras Cup for the entire month of July. We're not beating that team today. But having said that, we had 2 chances to score and we did not. So
true, but Patrick, based on the point you literally just said, Arsenal got all their players in early and they had them working together early.
It worked.
That contradicts that point.
Well, that set piece they must have worked on. So I'll give you that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's true. I still can't get over how clean that header was.
That's a clean header.
Zinchenko, how cool is Zinchenko? Zinchenko's probably what, 5 foot something? He can't be that cool.
Anybody on him? Like whoever marked him, he needs to be doing
no, no one's marking him. No one marked him. You're not gonna see nothing. No one marked him.
If I'm Vieira, I'm fuming. And I think in a way, Patrick, look, we needed to improve on set pieces. And by the way, I'm not buying into this. Look, we were bad at set pieces last season to a certain point, but then we improved last season. It's not like we were bad all season long. We had the start of the season where it was poor, but then towards the middle,
Everton came back to bite us though. Remember that?
That was one odd game.
Well, that was no. But I'm saying Everton was towards the end of the season last year. We were poor in the first game.
That's just one game. That was just one game.
And now add this game. That's 2.
But then, are we lacking that defensive height in the box then? Because I remember a lot of last season, Kayute used to kind of head those balls out, if that makes sense, especially on a lot of set pieces and a lot of corners. I remember at least a good 10, 11 times, well, maybe even more than that, where Kayute would get the ball, and because he's such a, respect the term, lanky bastard, he'd kind of just headed that. He'd be the first on that ball. Like, he would outleap Anderson, Gay, whoever we had in the box, and whoever the opposing team used to come at us with. And I remember when he was all sort of shifting to the centre-back role and he was getting more game time towards the end of last season, he was doing that role a lot.
I hear you, but Kayute isn't the solution. He isn't the solution.
D and AJ.
Decore, look, today we saw a glimpse of Decore, right? He looked ready to go into challenges. You didn't look.
I saw that.
His raw game, like what he's trying to do initially, anyways, he looks like there's something in him. And going into this game, I'm not saying this because it's happened after the game. I'm not using even hindsight as an example. Like going into this game, I think Decore is going to take a bit of time, not too long, but it's going to take a bit of time to adjust to the Premier League.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Once Decore adjusts to the Premier League, AJ, we'll see how good he will be for us. That you won't even mention the Kayute and about his height.
I think Decore kept it simple today. He did some nice little challenges in the first half. I saw that. But I think he just kept it simple today, and that is the sign of a player that's kind of just slowly adjusting to the Premier League, to be fair. He didn't do anything spectacular. He pulled the full forward. He wasn't scared to pull into the challenges. He was getting stuck in a bit of crud as well. Yeah, I agree with you. Give him a couple months.
So D, one second. So Vieira's comments, I want to read them to you because you have to admit Vieira is always very honest, right? When he makes his comments, he's got something to say, he'll say. So it's what he said today. Difference between the two teams today is that they scored those goals, and we created 2 really good chances to score. We were in a really good period in the second half, and we didn't take our chances. Of course, I'm disappointed because I thought we could score a couple of goals today, even though we didn't create very much. They took their chances, and we didn't. But football is about trying to score goals. We were playing against a good side. We had chances in both halves, and we didn't take it. In the game, you get punished really hard. So he's saying.
Patrick, that's what I said as well. Arsenal had they took their chances. They took the chances, and we didn't. But
I'm just saying he doesn't mention, he doesn't. I mean, he honestly, he's been honest. He would have said, okay, well, our preseason really hurt us. He didn't say it. I mean, I'm reading it now. It's more that we didn't take our chances, the more than the. But again, I'll let you guys have that point. I agree with you. You know what? It wasn't great.
Realistically, Patrick, though, is Vieira really going to come out and say after that game preseason hurt us? Because what he said
that already. He said it before how it was disjointed. He said it this week.
Yeah, he did say. He said that about a month ago.
Exactly. So it's not like, I mean, he's not gonna lie, but again, like I said, I'll admit that it didn't help us for sure. But again, take your chances.
A combination of the mad start we're going to have to the season anyway in terms of the fixtures and the teams we're playing.
Yeah.
I don't really anticipate, and I mentioned it earlier on, I don't anticipate us going into. I didn't think we were going to get 15 points out of the first 5 games. It's just not going to happen anyway. Yeah. And I think by the time we kind of get to the Brentford kind of fixtures, what was that, October, October-ish.
Nice. August 30th is the Brentford game.
I think by then, we'll be cooking by then. I think by then everyone will be a little bit more established. Everything will be a little bit more thing. Everyone will be a little bit more in that cohesion set of things. Elise will be back from fitness hopefully as well. I think we'll be all right, man. I don't have any. There was enough there to say there's nothing to panic about. It was just for me, it was very concerning. It just looked like we just weren't really getting out. We didn't get out of the blocks today. That's the way I feel it.
I gave you the first 5. I didn't give you the next 5 because I was afraid to. After Brentford, right? Newcastle away, Man United at home, Brighton away, Chelsea home, and Leeds home.
The only game that the only game in that even worries me might be Chelsea.
Not Newcastle away.
Even not what have Newcastle done lately?
They beat us. We haven't beaten Newcastle away in ages, have we?
No, but Newcastle away, Patrick.
I think a lot of people are getting sucked into money. Newcastle's only bringing what Botman and.
No, Newcastle. Don't get me wrong. Newcastle's not going to be.
Newcastle ain't about that life. Don't get sucked in. And they just gave Eddie Howe a new deal, bro. When he came in and then the man there dropped to 17th. Don't get sucked into that.
No. Yeah, I've said that as well. I'm not getting sucked into that. But Newcastle away, Patrick, you have to also realize that as good as Newcastle were last season, and they beat us, they should have beaten us.
But they did. But they did beat us.
You have to remember that was after the Chelsea defeat, and our season pretty much went down after that Chelsea.
I get all that.
You didn't really see the real Palace. You didn't see the real Palace.
We didn't beat them.
Nah, barring Chelsea, the rest of those games are winnable.
Brighton away.
Brighton away, Patrick. Are you sure? You mean them games they'll have like 90% of the possession and we'll still bang a win out of nowhere? Come on,
bro. You know how we've been talking about our preseason and not having the squad together and it might have impacted us. In a funny way, does these games actually help us in the long run? Because we're not expected to beat the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, but we've got more weeks in training ground and more reps for the actual games that we should be winning. Let's say we started off today with Villa. Wouldn't that be, for example, a team like Villa, wouldn't that be a bit more like chaotic? Let's say we lost 2-0 to Villa rather than 2-0 to Arsenal. So in a way, getting these games out of the way at the start, Liverpool, Arsenal, even though momentum.
I get that, but you don't want to go. You don't want to go in too many games without winning. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying. You don't want to go too many games early season without winning games, man.
It's just our preseason. That's our problem. It's just our preseason. If we had a normal preseason, I don't care who it is. It's fine. Whatever we'll face. But it's just our preseason. It just made it. I just feel like it just made it difficult for us. It just made it difficult for us.
I can't argue that fact. I want to argue. I can't argue.
Maybe we couldn't pull out from, but
I don't think that's the main problem, though. But I know what you're saying. I don't think that was the biggest problem. I think it's more that we need another midfielder.
But quickly, looking into the next game, because we've been talking.
Do we have to? Liverpool away.
Liverpool. I'll be real. I'm going to Dubai, and I'm coming back that day. So I'll be coming back energized.
Bro, there's no money. We'll be fine, lads. There's no money. We'll be fine.
Money can't score.
Yeah. Nunez will be
scoring. That's what we'll be all right, man.
Money can't score.
That's no fun at all, man.
But yeah, it's gonna be. That's probably another L on the bar. Yeah, that's another. Well, you never know. You never know. You see what happens. But that's another L. And then we got, as I said, difficult games. There's nothing really to talk about Liverpool in there for now. It really isn't. We'll see what they do, but they're still they're too good, man.
They're Liverpool, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd just like to see an improvement. I'll take an improved performance. If we get an improved performance against Liverpool, I'll take that.
It's gonna be hard because I don't think that performance was that bad today, personally, anyways. But to improve, you need to play very good to improve. I don't know how we're gonna keep 56% possession against Liverpool. Let's just say that. I really don't.
Was it last season that No, I got that wrong. Is it Edward that scored against Liverpool last season?
When we lost when Benteke, yeah.
I'll take a 3-1, mate. Take the 3-1.
3-1.
And you get your little Edward goal, you Edward fans. You can have your little Edward goal.
He's right there in the middle. That's Edward fan right there. Number one, the biggest fan.
I've seen it,
man.
I've seen it,
man.
Yeah,
he's included in that list. I've seen it.
No, you haven't seen Edward yet. You haven't seen Edward.
When are we going to see him then? When are we going to see him then?
Gotta be soon, mate.
When are we going to see him then, bro?
Give him chances. Give him chances. Give him a chance.
All right.
And then you'll see him. Maybe he had one today, but give him more chance in front of goal. 9 times out of 10, he'll score it. Trust me.
How many chances does he need?
I don't. Well, today he only had one. More than one, maybe. Scored them goals. So yeah.
Boy.
Hey, James, I'm just gonna answer your question, yeah. But you need to stop spamming afterwards. I do not regret, and even now, I am not scared of facing Arsenal. And I'm not even saying this like I'm genuinely like, I can look in your eyes and say I'm not scared of facing Arsenal. We saw it in the second half. Like, we created chances. There's nothing scary about that. I'm scared. The only teams I'm scared facing right now is Liverpool and Man City. Arsenal, when they reach that point of them two teams, yeah. And let's see what they do throughout the season. I think you was great today. But I'm not scared. Arsenal didn't, like, as good as you was, and you won 2-0. It's not like Arsenal just absolutely dominated us. They were smart in the game, man, but we still had our chances. There's nothing scary about Arsenal as of yet. I'm not going to change my view. And honestly, there's nothing that changes it. Dev, you improved from last season. You look like
bro, keep that chest, man. Forget them, man. So that's all right. Because last year they wouldn't say nothing to us. But it's okay. Let them have. They get their flowers to this year because they beat us. I ain't got nothing.
Don't worry, we'll break them in the Emirates and then win the Premier League run again.
To be fair, it's like, you know, when we beat Man City, we could be talking bad as well. When's the last time Arsenal beat us before this game?
It was a while, like a good couple years.
A while ago, so
2 seasons ago.
Not... See, this is what I'm saying. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. We are title contenders. You man are just
wow.
Wow.
Wait, who was that guy's name? What was that guy's name? What? Hold on.
Like, bro, just bro.
Man said Arsenal are title contenders.
I like it, though. I like it, though. Honestly, that's what I like. That's
yeah,
what I
bro.
like.
That's chest.
That's
talking with your chest, man.
They're special. That's the funny thing. But we'll see. We'll see Arsenal winning the league. We'll see Arsenal winning the league this season, innit? That's definitely gonna happen.
Stop playing FIFA, kids. Don't make that stuff go to your head.
I swear, it's so funny what we can do. But
wasn't it one of them guys that ranted on Air TV talking about we're going to win the league and we're going to qualify for the Champions League, and he started like screaming all mad and that, and then what was it? When they played us the next game, we smashed them like 3-0. Am I going mad?
Huh?
No, that did happen. Yeah, so
that definitely happened.
Yeah,
boy.
James, when was your last time before we close that? James, just chat to me, because you're talking about Crystal Palace right now. Chat to me when you win the Premier League, innit? Because I'm seeing Man City, I'm seeing Liverpool, I'm seeing Man United that won it after you guys as well. So chat to me. Come back to me when you win.
Leicester. Let's not forget Leicester.
And Leicester as well.
Oh, and Leicester. Yeah, Leicester.
I don't want to even get onto Arsenal. That's a bad thing. Like, they deserved it. Like, I don't want to sound salty, but just remember, innit? Just remember. Yeah, 2005, bro. I don't know how old you are, but you probably couldn't even walk back then. But yeah, let's just wrap it up. So next game predictions against Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool.
3-0. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. 2. No. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I want to say 3-0, but let me not say it.
No.
2-0 Liverpool. I think we'll be a bit more wary. Defensively, we'll be a bit more solid. So 2-0 Liverpool. Yeah.
I'm going 3-1 Liverpool. It's Anfield, isn't it? 3-1 Liverpool.
Yes, Anfield. Yeah.
Yeah, 3-1 Liverpool. We're gonna get a goal. We'll get our first goal of the season, and then I reckon they'll just turn it up a gear and just do a madness.
Someone said 2-2. But yeah, I think Liverpool win. Saying this, it'll be so Palace now to go and win that game like 1-0.
Probably like end up spanking him like 4-0, like nobody understanding what happened.
Yeah, 1-0. But
I need that, by the way. I need a win next week. I'll take that.
Look, man. Look. What are we saying? 1-0, 89th minute. Mark Gay, corner.
Big Mitchell, back post.
Like Trent is a banging right back, bro, but he can't defend.
Yeah. But anyways, as I said, back to the side. Look, Arsenal, well done, man. Well done. You deserve it.
Definitely. They deserve it.
Well
I'm not gonna
be salty. You guys were good.
I can give more praise to make you guys happy. I can give more praise. Hopefully you have a successful season for your sake. Hopefully you get that top 4 finish that you guys want so bad. I mean, that's the reason why you sacked Wenger. Hopefully you reach back to this the stage where before you sack. Hopefully you guys get there and you have a successful season. Top 3, top 2, hopefully it happens. And hopefully we finish top 10, you know. You got your own priorities, we got our own priorities. This is out of the way now. The season starts. Against Liverpool.
Don't worry, mate. Arsenal all or nothing season 2. Let's go.
Yeah.
Don't mention it.
Maybe that's how they won tonight. Maybe they played Glad all over. Maybe they played Glad all over of the speakers, isn't it? That's how they beat us.
Listen, I love the optimism, by the way. Top 4 ? We're winning the league and Europa. Good luck in it. Just good luck out there. Good luck out there. But anyways, that's it from us. Patrick, do you want to end the show? It's your show. And there's no point in me.
Nah, it's your show. Just want to say thank you everyone who tuned in. Thanks to AJ for coming on. Aaron was on earlier. We had a great new caller too.
Yeah, there's Terry as well.
Oh,
there was few. Yeah,
no, it was Terry J for coming on. Great new caller. Again, everybody, please like, subscribe if you can. We will be back on Palace Focus. No, when you leaving for Dubai?
We'll be back properly next week. We'll be talking about Benteke in more detail and all of that. We'll be back in next week.
And of course, we're back for next Monday's game at Anfield. I'll be here with T probably when my friend here is in Dubai. But until then, D?
Yeah. Up the Palace.
Up the Palace, mate.
Up the Palace, lads.
All right, AJ.